kids. Happy Vlogmas. One day we should talk about why I call you kids and what that says about me. But today's not that day. So, for those of you who don't know, I am sick. And I'm gonna be sick for, like, my whole life. I have this thing called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which I call EDS, because Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a lot to say. And it's a rare disease. It's also genetic, so, like, I got it from my mom. And it's not something that can really be cured unless and until we collectively as a society decide it's okay to rewrite human DNA, which is what my senior thesis is about. Wonder why. Almost like I have a disease. So this disease specifically affects my collagen. And that's sort of like it's the most common protein in your body, and it's what makes up your connective tissue, but it also makes up your skin, and, like, it's everywhere. Like, your skin is 90% collagen, which is why I bruise easily. Also, fun fact, I'm a bleeder, which is because my blood vessels are just weak. But I have an abundance of, not like a bad abundance, just like an abundance of a clotting agent, so I'm a clotter. So, like, I don't have a problem because I bleed a lot, but, like, it doesn't take much to bruise me. Like, look at that. You see that? That's from where, hold on. So that big old bruise is pretty big. It's from where I had my blood drawn for some blood work on Tuesday as a routine part of, like, my health. And, like, that nurse did a super good job. And, like, that's just what happens because I bleed. But I clotted, it was fine. It was chill. Anyway, all this to say, I am chronically ill, and one day I'm going to talk about, like, how that sort of manifested itself. And if you want to know more about how it appears in me, I have videos talking about that. But chronically ill people need to really practice self-care. I'm also part of the LGBT community. I'm queer, both in my gender and sexuality, or my lack of a gender. In my sexuality, my gender identity. And queer people living in such an oppressive society need to practice self-care. I'm also a teenager. Kind of, almost not. I'm 18, so I'm, like, a new adult, whatever. But I still have, like, all this stuff happening with hormones, and my mind is still growing, and so teenagers need to practice self-care. Really, everybody needs to practice self-care. And I need to give myself the space to do that. And so I want to talk about it on this channel. So I'm doing this thing, I think, maybe, called Self-Care Saturdays. And I don't quite know how they're going to play out. But an idea I had is to sort of look at how I practiced self-care in my life in the past week. Like, let's say I took a bath to relax, or I took a day off. I, like, didn't do homework on Saturday, or I drove myself to do all this work because I really need to do it. Or I went and, like, went shopping or went to the doctor or whatever because that's stuff I need to do to care for myself. And I was also thinking about talking about self-care more broadly as an idea and sort of, like, the difference between, like, nice self-care and, like, the less desirable parts of self-care, and even just really what self-care is. Actually, I'm gonna do that now. So, self-care is basically where you do things that you need to do for yourself. And when I say need, I do mean need, even though not everything may seem like a necessity. Like, a lot of self-care seems frivolous. But I was reading on somebody's Tumblr, I don't know whose, and they were like, self-care is not about filling up the tank once you reach empty. It's more like putting, like, small chunkets of change in a savings account for emergencies so that you don't have to, like, go bankrupt when you run into an emergency. So self-care is doing things for your body, your mind, and your soul in order to recharge and enable you to function and exist happily. That's sort of the definition I'm going with. And so self-care can look like watching YouTube for like 5 hours if that's something that you need in order to be able to function happily in a specific circumstance. Self-care can also look like downloading a program that prevents you from going to YouTube for 5 hours so that you can sit and, I don't know, when April rolls around, or maybe sooner if you're a good adult, fill out your taxes. Or if you're like me, doing homework. Self-care can involve cleaning, it can involve cooking, it can involve stockpiling meals so that you don't have to cook on the nights when you can't. There are all sorts of things it can be. And so I just want to talk about self-care. And for those of you wondering, like, what is happening with the music on this channel, because I did have Song Saturday going for a while, the music's not gone. I'm working on a song right now about Tennessee. I'm also toying around with the idea of another song that I haven't written anything for yet. Maybe I have a new instrument. Maybe. Maybe not. It depends on some things. We'll see. But music, if I decide I want to go back to uploading music on a certain day, we're going to do Song Sundays. Because I decided Self-Care Saturday sounded better than Self-Care Sunday. And Song Sunday would work just as well as Song Saturday. Whatever. This is what's happening now. This really was inspired by the fact that I was looking in the mirror and I noticed that I don't like how long my hair is, but it looks kind of vaguely healthy for me. That's like the healthiest part of my body, my friends. And it's because I decided to condition today. And then also I've been cleaning a lot, and I just want validation for my efforts because my parents don't understand the concept of self-care and don't understand that it's important to do things other than homework for once in your life. And also by the fact that I was doing homework while I was taking a bath. And then I went to the MVA to get my permit so I can learn to drive, actually, because I let my last one expire. I did a lot of stuff today. Anyway, Self-Care Saturday. Also, this is thematically appropriate for Advent because self-care is about loving yourself. And kind of about loving other people, because when you are doing what makes you able to function happily, then that makes you more able to A, meet the needs of those around you, and B, just be joyful while doing it. Also, I don't know why my nose is shiny. I'm really not feeling that, but whatever. I hope you have a great day.